Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome in. If you are not, welcome back. I missed you. Either way, it's nice to see you. I haven't posted in a couple of days, but I felt very called to today. There is like a ripple in the collective, I feel, and I'm trying to narrow down what it is, but there's definitely like a few messages I'm trying to catch. So let me grab some things, some decks here. Okay. I think I'm going to start with the Halloween Tarot, just to kind of ground us a little bit, anchor us in this message here, and see what comes up. Okay. Share. I keep hearing share. Also, someone's doing yard work, so if you can hear that, then hey, look. Share. At the bottom. Okay. Share it is. Let me grab a couple of these tarot cards. Okay. We have Ace of Pumpkins, which in this deck is Ace of Pentacles, and then we have Seven of Pentacles as well. So something you planted the seeds for might be coming to fruition soon. Maybe something you've been... Please don't eat that. Maybe something you've been trying to manifest. Interesting. Okay, this came out reversed. I'm going to take it today. So we have the Tower, and we have the Nine of Bats, which is the Nine of Swords in reverse. So I think that this is a message for someone who has been trying to manifest something for a while, and it hasn't been coming through for them, and they're kind of frustrated and don't really know why. Like, it's been keeping them up at night and has been kind of having a negative impact on their life. I'm gonna grab one more. Can I get one more tarot card, please? Oh, I got two for the price of one. These both came out in reverse today. We're pulling reversals, I guess. So we have Page of Swords and the Devil. Okay. I'm getting this cycle message. I think that this group is someone who likes to try a bunch of things, but gets very frustrated or very upset when those things don't work out for them. This is a group of people who have the world at the bottom, and I will explain this in a moment. So there is this manifestation energy, this manifestor energy in this group. And I think that this group knows or wants to know, for lack of a better term, how powerful they are when it comes to manifestation. I think there's this message that, like, the world is your oyster, the world's at your fingertips. And there's this message of what we do is who we are. I think that this is my group who has a lot of ideas and has so many things that they want to do, but they're not really sure how to ground those things in reality. Some of you might be struggling, like, to pick something to do. I get this image of, like, you know, the whole world is at your fingertips, and that's kind of overwhelming for you because there's so many things you'd like to do, or there's so many things you're capable of doing, and you're like, well, which thing do I choose? And that's where this message of, like, what we do is who we are comes in. So it's like, it's a message of, like, not don't waste time, because that's not fair. I think that any kind of time we take getting to know ourselves to figure out what we want is not wasted. But there's this message of, like, maybe it's time to just try a few things instead of figuring out, like, instead of trying to agonize in thought mode of what makes the most sense for us, is to just sit down and try a few things and see if they click with us. Because I think that, you know, you can't necessarily outthink your feelings on this, right? You can't think through every possibility. You just have to try some stuff. So I would say that that is a big part. And for some of you, the share keeps coming out, and I don't know if it's because you want to share something about yourself or if that's like a big part of this. But if you're being called to share something, like whether that be like just yourself online or like a product or your art or your music, whatever that is, I would say definitely go for that if that's something that you're like unsure about. And I think for some of you too, there's this message of like, do the unrealistic thing. Do the thing that like sets your heart on fire. Like put energy into that thing, even if it feels unrealistic or stupid, or like you'll get laughed out of the room, or like you'll be judged. That's an important thing to do, what lights up your soul right now. Yeah, we have manifest. So big manifestation energy. And I think that what it is that I think that you're capable of manifesting things. And I don't know if you've seen this, you know, in your life before, but like there is that feeling of like being afraid to fail that's preventing you from really truly locking in on this like soul deep desire. So you also have cleanse. Cleanse is an important one. So honestly, cleanse might be a really helpful one for you. So if you practice any kind of magic or practice any kind of cleansing ritual, it might be helpful to do some kind of cleansing ritual, because there's this message of needing to get clear on what it is, how to step forward, how to take steps forward. And like it might be helpful to actually do some sort of ritual to help you see the next steps by like clearing away kind of all of the nonsense in your brain that's keeping you stuck. And then rest. So I think for some of you, and I do like think that maybe this has been keeping some of you up at night, like just not knowing. There's been like I'm getting like rumination vibes of like just being unable to rest because you're like, I can't rest until I figure this out, and I can't figure this out because I don't know what to do, and I don't know what to do because I like too many things. And it's like this sort of like cycle of overwhelm, which is why like there are so many ideas, right? There are so many things you want to do, but none of them have been like consistently grounded in reality enough to show any results. And that's maybe why you're hopping on to the next thing instead of seeing if this is something for you. Okay, I'm gonna grab a couple more of these oracle cards. Let's see. Okay, one more. Okay, thank you. Okay, we have love and create. Create what you love. That's like the deepest, truest, like main core message here is create what you love. It's like follow that, chase that thing that you love, chase that thing that lights you up, chase that thing that makes you happy, create that. I think that there is usually a lot of artists in any kind of collective that I read for, but this message in particular, there are probably a lot of artists here or a lot of creatives here. Go after that thing that you love. Go after that thing that you want. Go after that thing that lights you up. And like, for some of you, I'm getting this message of you have tried it before, but you gave up really easily. And so this is a message of hold on and like try. There's like something that has happened, I don't know if it's recently, but in your life that now will allow you to like have this Seven of Pentacles energy to really like put work into something, even if it's just a little bit at a time. But there's definitely this message that like now is sort of like the time, right? You're now more capable to put more effort and more energy into this thing that maybe you were in the past. And that's like new for you, I think, for some of you. It's on the bottom of this deck. Yeah, stay the course. Keep going. Follow that dream. Follow that dream for sure. And there's like this is that group of like go, 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 go. So I think rest card 2 is really like some of you maybe have been pushing it a lot with like trying to figure out what this is. And that's where that rumination energy comes from as well, of just like thinking yourself in a circle without actually taking any actionable steps, which is like what we need to be doing. We need to be taking actionable steps. So a big, like if you're struggling with that aspect, a big piece of advice or like message I'm getting is that you take, like, write down the next like 3 things you have to do in order to take actionable steps. Like the next 3 steps you need to do in order to ground this idea in reality. Whether that's writing, whether that's making a plan, whether that's actually creating something physical, whatever that is, you know, making an account of some kind, a bank account, filling out some paperwork, whatever that is, whatever those next true steps are, like the basic of basics. Spirit is asking you to like write that shit down and then do those things. Just start there. Promise that to yourself. And if you're like, I can't do this anymore, then that's fine. But just start with the basic of basics. Yeah, we have, interestingly, this duality of purity and the void. So I think this is like where you guys, this is the struggle. Is like, I think there is this perfectionism. There is definitely this perfectionism. And so there's like this, because things aren't perfect, then you get really discouraged, or like you don't take the next step because things aren't perfect, things aren't ready. And there is this message that like most of the time we're not ready to do the things that we need to do to have the things that we want, to achieve those big things. And that's why we need to put one foot in front of the other anyway, because the only way we will make progress is if we do things imperfectly. And it can be really frustrating. There is like, I get this feeling of like, this is the one thing I want to do, and things keep getting in the way of it. Like this frustration of like, every time you try to set out to do this thing, something happens, and it frustrates you to the point where you like rage quit, which I think some of you are taking as a sign that you shouldn't be doing that thing, is that like you're hitting blockages. But I think it's really more like, this is, it's scary that the thing you want, like it's scary enough and important enough to you that like the first sign of any kind of like negative interference, we want to run away from that, or we want to say, no, this isn't right, because the outcome of success is so important to us that we get scared that like, if this thing happens, what else bad is going to happen, right? When really it's not a sign that you shouldn't be doing it. If anything, it's a sign that you need to persevere. It's a sign that like, you know, now if it's something that you keep coming to and like you keep getting redirected somewhere else, or like you legitimately like have put hours into something and it like just doesn't work, that might be a different situation. And also like, if you want to quit, you are allowed to quit. Just like promise yourself to quit for like a day or a few hours and then try to go back to it is like a good way to like kind of baby step into that. But there is this message that like the void with the new moon, that it's time to start new things, that it's time to begin again, you know, it's time to start and try again with maybe a different sense. And, you know, with new moon and full moon, we have this need to let go of things, perhaps. Let go of this, perfectionism. Let go of this idea that in order to be successful, things have to go a certain way, or things have to be perfect. It's taken me a long time to even like start posting on this channel, because every time I would try to sit down and record, something would happen, or my cats would yell, or they would get in the way. And I kind of just had to be like, I had to go through this moment of like, you know, I'm not really doing anything. You know, if I'm not, oh my God, so many messages. Let's try that again. There's hunger that fell out on the floor, and to me, that's very much like, you really do want this. Like, there's that hunger, this desire for this. But yeah, so even things like as simple as me just like sitting down to record a couple of times a week, a few times a week, is like, I don't have any really plans for this channel, but I'm just gonna keep showing up here because I have messages for you and I like being here. So yeah, self-reflection. And I think that's a big part of it. I am getting a twofold message with self-reflection, ironically, since it is a mirror, but there is this a little bit of like, not obsession, but concern or like preoccupation with how you'll be viewed. So if you pursue this passion, if you pursue this desire, how you'll be viewed or judged by other people in your life. And that's maybe something that's held you back. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with like things we're letting go, things we're releasing. So like that your work is a reflection of who you are as well. So like there is no world in which humans are perfect. I also say this with the knowledge that like, you know, the current landscape that we live in is people aren't really seeking out perfection. And I don't know if people have ever been seeking out perfection. This might be a very specific message, but there is something to be said about showing up imperfectly and how that allows people to really have permission themselves to show up imperfectly. And that, regardless of what this thing you're pursuing is, will show up in that way that you connect with people. And I think that that's an important job you have, especially if you're in the public eye or doing something that is like creating something that you are showing to people. People will be able to be themselves more because of the example you set just by being yourself. But you have to get over this need for perfection in order to even connect with people in the first place. So that's like, that's the block here. Release that shit. Release that need for perfection and release that need to be anything other than human. Release that need to not be able to show up for yourself and for other people unless you are the perfect version of that, of yourself, of whatever medium you're pursuing, you know? Okay, and I'm gonna grab a couple of final cards from the Halloween Oracle because I think there's just some final messages. For these cards, I'd like to specifically focus on like what it is that you probably need to work on or the current themes showing up in your life. And I know we just covered a lot of them. I know the big thing is like this perfection, this need to focus, this need to really like reflect and release some things, especially when it comes to perfection, the big one. But let's get some more messages from this Halloween Oracle, and I'll read from the guidebook because I really love this guidebook. I think that when I feel very lost and I feel very discombobulated, this Oracle really helps me direct myself and really narrow down what specific things I'm struggling with and need to focus on and work on in order to move forward. Felt like a lot of words. Okay, can I get 2 of these cards, please? Okay, we're taking this one. We have the Veil, which says the future. And then I get 1 more of these cards, please. Thank you. And we have a jack-o'-lantern with protection. So I'm going to read from the guide and I'm going to read the Veil first. Okay, the Veil, the future. Let's see. Okay, so this is actually very short, which is not normal for this book, but I'm going to read it anyway. It says, while using this oracle, as the veil lifts, know that the other worlds are close. Listen in particular to what messages may come forth and around your future. Look to what you want to happen. Plan, set intentions, and think big. So yeah, I think that this is really about narrowing down what it is you're interested in at this moment and really trying to lift your own veil, because I think right now you're kind of lost in your own mind, right? You're lost in what should you do, where should you be going. There's a lot of this, it's like being nitpicky about what the best possible outcome will be, what the perfect outcome will be. And so there's this need to sort of like clear out those cobwebs and really make a decision of what direction you're going to go in. But with all this other stuff swirling in your head, it's kind of hard for you to decide what to do. So I think that a big message is to not agonize over it. And I think that for some of you, there is, for most of you actually, there is something that really, really matters a shit ton to you. Is really, really like a deep desire that you have. It's something that maybe feels like a little bit of like a guilty pleasure, perhaps. And I would say go for that first. Take concrete steps toward that thing first and see where it gets you. Really try to build that thing that you want, that feels the most out of your reach, that is the most desired, no matter how scary it is. Take the steps, show up consistently, and see what happens. Just see what happens. You know, whether it's for 6 months, whether it's for even just 1 month, just see what happens when you head toward that thing that you want more than anything. Even if the logical side of your brain is like, there's no way this could happen. Ignore that. Feel it in your soul, feel it in your gut, you know, what you're drawn toward, and head toward that direction and see what happens when you're consistent there. And then the last one is Jack-o'-lantern and protection. So I'm going to read that one as well. All right. Know that you are protected and that you are capable of creating the life that you want, and the universe supports you should Jack shine his light upon you. Boundaries are important to teach people how to treat us, and drawing this card indicates that you may wish to renew the ones you have or establish new ones. And that comes back to, yeah, I was getting this, like, there might be some judgment in your life. I think that maybe one of the things that has blocked you from pursuing this like soul gut deep thing is not just the fear of how people will respond, but maybe there has been some real backlash or people who have been unsupportive in your real life. And I know it's extremely hard to do things when you don't feel supported, but this is just a message that is a confirmation of the things that you desire are not only possible, even if your own logical brain, even if the people in your life have been telling you they're fucking impossible. Just know that that impossible world that you want to manifest, that impossible life that you have dreamt of or are dreaming of, that is possible. It's within your reach in this lifetime. Like, it is possible for you to do those things that you want, no matter what your logic brain says, no matter what the doubters in your life, in your own brain say to you. There is that soul draw to this thing, and you know what that is. And it's scary, but it's time. It's time to move forward. It's time to try again, and it's time to like really dig down deep and give it one more final go. You know, one more college try, one more, give it all you've got, the most unrealistic version of that dream, give it all you've got, and go for it, because it's time. And you guys are awesome, and you got this. I know it, okay? You know it. So yes, that is what I'm saying for you guys. You've got this. The world is your fucking oyster, man. You've got this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you. And I will see you guys next time your vibe meets my vibe here again. I love you. Bye.